we go. We cut to a wonderful shot of me mashing up some green stuff. Hello everyone in the chat. Hello. Thanks for joining us nice and early. I'm going to reply to James from Without a Clue Wargaming now. We are absolutely fantastic today, aren't we, Mike?
Indeed. Hello everyone.
Yep. I'm just going to go through the chat and see who is in here. We have Mr. Steve Forrest, James from Without a Clue Wargaming, DD606, the Johnsonator. Hello dude, how's it going? And that is all in the chat so far, so if anybody else pops in, we will say hello to those as well. Mr. Craggham Gaming, evening. Right, so what are we doing tonight, Mike?
I'm currently building the Test of Honor box. So I'm about a third of the way through it, I think. So at the minute I'm building the samurai dudes at the minute. So these are by far the coolest models in the box, in my opinion. And then I'm going to build like 20 dudes with spears. So I've got a fair bit to go still on this set. What about you?
I am building my model for Sigmar Showdown. So anybody who hasn't seen this already, there's a video that went up yesterday on Sigmar Showdown, and it's just a little challenge that myself and Spud from Chilling Wargamers have come up with. We want to get as many people involved as possible, so if you are just like watching this now and you decide you want to do this, feel free. The rules are all on the post from yesterday, so it's worth just going back and watching that afterwards. But pretty much you get to build a really cool character, post it up online, do some video vlogs, or post some pictures up on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever you want, just to put down some progress of the model that you've done. And it's designed so that you get bits from all sorts of models and convert some sort of weird creation. So this is what I'm working on tonight. Yes, Johnsonator, it is coming on rather quickly. I'm actually inspired as soon as so Spud was chatting to me about it. Well, we're chatting to all of us on Hangouts, and the more and more we talked about doing this sort of thing, I was like, yeah, I need to build this instantly. I need to go through the bits box, see what I've got. And to be honest, I only grabbed a few bits out of the box and started chucking them onto the model. And I'm already thinking I might remove the wings and put a cape on instead. So I'm debating on that at the moment. But I got pretty excited. But he's looking nice. So what else have we done today? Me and Phil went to Warhammer. I was going to say Warhammer World. And we picked up some stuff. I've grabbed some more models for my word bearers. Rachel has another custodian dreadnought, so that's pretty awesome.
I'm quite jealous that you've been shopping today.
I shouldn't have done really, but I did. So never mind.
It's been a while since I've bought any models, to be honest.
I know, but it's the best bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep the wings, Mr. Craggham says, and DD606 says, keep the wings for sure. Okay, I mean, this was the thing. It's supposed to... I'm not going for a Nurgle model, but the more I look at it, I think I might just make it Nurgly. I was thinking of including all the gods, but the idea is it doesn't necessarily have to be a chaos thing. This could just be some really messed up angel of death that's just created for my purpose of Sigmar Showdown. So it doesn't
if it's an angel of death, that says to me it needs to have wings.
It needs wings. I might try and burn into some of these feathers, but I do like the look of them. I might just paint them really dark and black and do some sickly skin tones or something on him. But I'm about to start doing green stuff on him, a bit more green stuff, and we'll see where it goes. So we went to Warhammer World, and we also went to Warlord Games and had a look around there, and it was awesome. There's far too many models. There's plenty of people in the Facebook chat that keep talking about bolt action, so we decided just to go and have a look at what they had in the store, and there's a lot more than I thought. I got distracted. Phil was chatting away, and I was just wandering around, doing laps around the shop, looking at all the cabinets.
Like a kid in a sweet shop. Yeah?
It was worse. Phil was dragging me out by the end of it. We got to get back. I was like, no, let me look one more time. There's another cabinet. And just as we were leaving, I saw the tank shelf of bolt action, and I was just glaring at them. So, Wargamer Viking. All right, so who else has joined as well? I'm too busy chatting away. Wargamer Viking, hello, thank you for joining. We've just been watching your chat, but we had your guys' link is in our chat. Yeah, we were going to go live at 8 o'clock, but the Chilling Wargamers had theirs at 8, so we did not want to cross. So we decided to do this at 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Your guys' link is in our chat. P.S. I can't hear as I'm kind of live. So Spud's still live on Chilling Wargamers. That's fair enough. Thank you, Spud. He probably can't even hear us. He's probably just chatting away. You have a scythe. It has to be Nurgle lol. Do make the feathers look deathly. Yeah, I mean, how would you suggest to make them look deathly? I was thinking of. Have you ever watched Dogma?
I have not, no.
Oh, you need to watch Dogma.
I don't think I have anyway.
It's got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. So the two of them in it. And it's awesome. It's basically got angels that fall from heaven, and it gets to a point where they like rip their wings off. Spoiler alert! And they have all tattered wings and things, and it looks amazing. So I was thinking of maybe breaking these off. Can you remember the Carrion model from Tomb Kings?
Describe it.
It's like a vulture with messed up wings.
Vulture with messed up wings?
Like properly messed up, like they're falling apart.
No.
Okay, no worries.
You know what I'm like for remembering models. I'm terrible.
Yeah, John Snater says Dogma's amazing. Yes, it is, indeed. Mr. Cragham says can't say his true name. Yeah, you need to just watch that film. It's got Jay and Silent Bob in it as well. But we're not here to talk about films. We're here to talk about wargaming.
It was you that started it, I think, wasn't it?
I know. It's because it was like the description of Dogma, wings and such. So that was that. Please join in on Sigmar Showdown. It's going to be awesome. We've got quite a lot of people already doing it. Just put the hashtag in whenever you're posting something, and we can try and find as many things linked with that hashtag. So if you're on Instagram and you've done like a little, even if you've just picked your model and you've decided what you're going for, just put hashtag Sigmar Showdown and post it up, and we'll find it on there. Okay, Mr. Cragham, you head over to Chilling Wargamers. We'll see you later, my friend. And Dirty Demon, yeah. Right, let's get on to some of the questions that people have asked. I'll skip over Mr. Cragham since he's not going to be here. We'll go on to... Let's have a little chat about... And obviously everybody in the chat, join in as well. Give us your answers. We'll read out some stuff. So it's not just me and Mike, as much as I like listening to Mike's answers.
I'm a man of many words, aren't I?
Yeah. When I let you get any words in.
Oh, I think it's not. Isn't it normally Phil that does most of the talking? So.
Oh, here we go. We'll start with this one. James from Without a Clue Wargaming. So, question: what Sigmar army should I do? Haha. Well, I mean, there's a few people. Kiblams was asking this as well because there's a few people starting Sigmar now, which is brilliant to see because I don't actually know what I'm doing with this. I'm just looking at it, thinking, where do I put green stuff and what am I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to give him some sort of belt. So James, the main thing is, like, I'd say because of the reset, when Age of Sigmar got reset, or when Warhammer got reset, it gave you the chance to do whichever army you wanted without being in any sort of... It depends if you're going to be playing games. If you're playing games, it gave you the chance of picking any army and not having... I've got green stuff all on my fingernails. That's disgusting. It gave you the chance of picking... Lord Tattoo, hello. You can pick any army from Fantasy and you can still be as competitive. You don't need the latest codex. You don't need the latest model releases. You can still play. So first of all, I would say, what models do you like the most?
Yeah, James, have you narrowed it down to between like a few armies, or are you still completely none the wiser at the minute?
Yeah, let us know what you've narrowed it down to, because the other thing is you've got the 4 factions.
Yeah.
Which is one way of narrowing it down at least to a faction. Like if you know you always play evil races or evil, you always want to play the bad guys, then you kind of got chaos or destruction. I mean, I know you've got dark elves.
You got death though as well, haven't you?
Oh, death. Yeah. Okay, maybe that doesn't help.
Well, if you like evil, then just ignore order, and then you got any of the other three.
Yeah. At least you've removed one of them.
So yeah, it's taken one thing out there.
Well, see, he's just put dwarves. There we go. Which cigar? Okay, right. So now you've got dwarves. Now you've got a choice of the Duarden, which are like the standard dwarves with the old style cannons and like blunderbuss weapons, or you've got the new ones that are coming out, the Caradron Overlords, which I think are going to be right up your street. I know you've already shown an interest on those. And we went to Warhammer World today, like I said, and we saw them in the flesh, and they are huge. Like I was even debating on buying one of the really big, I think it's called an Ironclad airship, and you could even proxy it. I was saying to Phil, I'm going to put that in my Space Wolf army as one of the flyers, because I thought I'll just remove the dwarves.
How big were they?
Like almost as big as one of those Space Wolf flyers, the Storm Wolf.
Oh,
like it is huge. There's 2 smaller ones, but the Ironclad is massive, and it's so impressive.
That's quite big, that is. I'm trying to think of something in Sigmar that's the same sort of size.
I mean, it's not quite as big as Archeon or Nagash, I'd say when you put that like the height on it, but the amount of model that's there, it's definitely on that scale. So they're not. I don't think they're going to have the big hero, but they're going to have that big.
But that would definitely be the centerpiece of the army then.
Definitely, and
yeah.
I'd probably find an excuse to proxy it to put it into any army, just because of that. So he's put dwarves or death. Steve's put death isn't evil; it's inevitable. Stardrake. So what's the randomness with Stardrake, Steve? He's just said Stardrake. I think we're just going to put random words in the chat. See where we go.
Is he on about size comparison?
Maybe. Oh, in terms of how big it is to that, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you can choose now then between dwarves or death, or you could do death dwarves. If you really wanted
does sound
to,
cool.
You wanted
just
to do
just as a title for the army, Death Dwarves.
Death dwarves, yeah. You could do a really cool project where you make them like, what do you call it? Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the guys under the sea. Under the sea. What are they called? The dude who leads them. We're going back into films again. But
yeah,
whichever the guy is that leads the army of the undead that go under the sea on that black ship. The Black Pearl,
idea this. I'm going to cut you off here. Idea this just jumped into my head, and I know I'll forget if I don't say it now. You got zombie dwarves.
Yeah, I mean that's where I was going with this.
Oh, okay.
But that's fine.
Well, I said it first, so I'm going to take it. It was my idea.
Thunder. You stole my thunder. Bazooka J Rambo, hello. Thank you for joining us, Bazooka. Davy Jones, there we go. Steve googled that. So do a Davy Jones inspired dwarf army. That would be cool because they're quite nautical anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, under the sea stuff. So there we go. I hope that helped. That's the first topic. If anybody has any other questions that you want to ask us, we can go through the ones we have written down from the Facebook group, or we can just go through the ones that you lot are actually asking right now. Nope, I know this stuff, says Steve. That's wonderful. Not sure on them wings, Lord Tattoo. See, that's another one. This is the thing. It's like a 50-50 at the minute. It's supposed to be...
I still think it's leaning more towards wings.
It's supposed to be an angel of death, Lord Tattoo. And I wanted it to look like it's just dropped down from somewhere. Not the heavens, because they don't exist in Sigmar. It's called Azirland or something like that. And he's got his massive scythe and he's just going to go and mess some stuff up. No faction. But we'll see. What I'll do is I'll sculpt as much as I can, like as best as I can everywhere else. And then I could maybe clip off these wings afterwards. And we've got the wonderful Moggy's Miniatures. Hello, Moggy.
Hello.
Thanks for your updates, Moggy. You've inspired me to grab one of those custodian dreadnoughts. And now I've got to build that in a pose that isn't copying your pose, but is just as awesome because that thing is amazing. Mr. Cragham's asking me a question, but I'm ignoring him because he said he was going to leave us. So, you know, that's what happens, Craig, when you give us idle threats. I built the base up with Milliput. It's the first time I used it yesterday, Craig, and I've just like chucked it on the base to build it up. And I'm going to put loads of sand and rubble and cork, my food cork, all that sort of stuff. Matthias, I am pro wings. They create visual interest between the chaos figure and the potentially angelic accent. Yeah, I mean I'm glad that's coming across, and it doesn't look like I've just done something completely random on here. But I wanted him leaning forwards a bit. I wanted him like that, so like lunging forwards. But then I didn't do it, and it's too late now. It's kind of just stood upright. Yeah, Moggy, the dreads. I mean, I couldn't decide between the one with the shield and the sword or the one with the spear, and I just went for the one with the spear in the end because its name was Achilles, and I love Troy. We're going back to films, we're going to go back away from that, but I love watching Troy, and I imagined a giant Custodes doing that giant lunge that Achilles does at the beginning of the film, well, all the way through the film. Mr. Wargamer Viking is back. Hello. Spuds drank water. Oh dear, this could be messy. Maybe cut some feathers out. Yes, Lord Tattoo. That's definitely something that I'm considering. I'm just wondering how to cut them out, whether just to get a scalpel and cut across them and maybe fray them out, or green stuff some feathers, or just get a hot soldering iron, or take it round to Phil's and get him to do it, and just put holes in the wings at random points. I think it needs something maybe. But then again, that's only if I'm going with he's completely corrupted by Nurgle, because that would make sense. Right, so what else have we got question-wise? We have... I'm going to leave that one for James, because he's going to be on our weekly chat. So we're going to leave that one for James next week. We'll go with one from Basic Miniature Painting. What is the hardest miniature you've painted?
Oh, hardest that I've painted. I'd say Vulcan. The Salamander Primarch was quite a challenge for me to do, because I think it was it was definitely one of the more expensive models I've had to paint. And because obviously what the model is, you don't try not to make mistakes on it. And basically, for me, trying to get everything as perfect as I can on it, that took me quite some time to paint. So I'd probably say that was the hardest model I found to paint, just because I was worrying quite a lot of the time to make sure I try and get it right.
So was it the model that was difficult to paint, or was it that you were just worried about messing it up?
It might be that I was worrying about messing it up. Let me think. I'm going to think on another model. Because have you got anything that you'd say that would say you're the one that you found hardest to do?
So in terms
difficult?
Of difficult to paint, I think I avoid painting difficult stuff in a way, and maybe I should challenge myself a little bit more, or I find a way round the difficult side of it. Because I'd say there's difficult to paint, and there's also it takes more time.
Yeah.
So things like I did Korax for Luke, and although it wasn't difficult to paint, it just took a much longer amount of time than it would normally do. And that's why I would say, would you class that as difficult? Like it's an actual difficult model to paint. Like I imagine this model that I'm doing now will be difficult to paint when it's finished, because getting the paintbrush into all of these little nooks and crannies and trying to paint all of these angles. Actually, I'll tell you what, one that was difficult for me to paint was the Iron Jaw Brutes, and that's only because I never normally do these models in bits. I build them, I spray them, and then I start painting them, and that's it.
Yeah.
And with the Iron Jaw Brutes, you can't really do that, because their chest plate, once you put that on, you can't get the brush down onto their chest as easily and around their neck and their chin. So it's much better if you don't put that front plate on them and you do it afterwards. And so in terms of difficult wise, it was because I didn't sub-assembly it and paint it in bits.
I see. Where you've just said about getting into all them difficult areas to get to, that might lead towards my Skaven Stormfiends. Because if you think about all of the cabling they've got, as well as the bits of armor you've got to try and get underneath it as well to do all the skin, that might be. And then also, I can't remember the name of it. It's an ogre. It's from the ogre army. They've got a cannon that's being pulled by two. I can't remember what they're called.
Launcher.
It could be that. There's a giant cannon on it on the top of it.
Yeah, that might be. It's like I can't remember if it was called like a sky cannon or something. It was like a name out of Skyrim.
It's bugging me now what it's called. If anyone knows what it's called, please put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll just Google it. It's got like a Rhinox thing pulling it. So Steve's putting a gash for me. Everything painted in bits. Yeah, it was quite a big model. If you do that in one big go, you're a champion. I don't think anybody would do that in one big go. James has put green stuff. Can never use the stuff myself. Any tips or tricks you can share? I'm very new to doing stuff with green stuff, and I'm just practicing here and there. So I've sculpted some bits, but I'm just practicing. But the main thing is that I found that works so well is Vaseline. Sculptor Vaseline from Green Stuff World. So I've used water in the past, and water works absolutely fine. You can put it on your tools, you put it on your hands, and you put it on the green stuff just so that you can get rid of the fingerprints. But this Vaseline works a lot better. So definitely worth picking up some of that. I know I've been using it for a fair bit, practicing, and you don't even get rid of it. It lasts forever. I don't think I'm going to need to buy another one. The other thing I would definitely recommend is getting the right tools, and these are cheap. I've got some more expensive ones, but these are off eBay in like a pack of 5. They're silicon shaped tooler things, and they were like £4 or £5 for 5 of them. So they're really cheap, but because they're like rubber or silicon, you can smooth out the green stuff to get rid of the creases, the fingerprints. So all I've done there is stretch out a roughly belt-shaped bit of green stuff, and then I'm using the tool to very gently just press it down, but making sure I've got the Vaseline on there, and it blends the green stuff together. And then because you're flattening it down, it widens out as well. So once it starts to harden, you can get a knife, and then all I did was just cut it off very gently so that you don't like ruin the shape of it. So now I've got a choice of either getting another bit and attaching it right now to the bottom of here to bring it around, or what I might do is wait for this bit to dry so that I don't mess it up, and then add the next bit of green stuff to here and just blend it in from the front. But the main thing I've found so far with green stuff is just to be quite patient with it and build everything up in layers rather than trying to work on it in one go. Because when I first tried to do a cape, I put it all on in a cape shape and started moving it around, and it was just not very good. It was very bad. Have you tried green stuff?
A very small amount. I think I've only ever really used it on bases, and that was when I was doing my scathing bases for Storm Fiends, where I was trying to do bubbles in the like the sewage water. So all I'd do is I'd roll the green stuff up into a ball and then cut it in half to use as a bubble, and that's probably about the most I've done with green stuff, to be honest. It's definitely something I want to look into doing, just because of the extra things you can add to models, and even just changing like the dynamic of a model, how it looks. Like you were saying about adding a cloak. Like if there's a model that doesn't have a cloak, giving it a cloak sometimes can make it look a bit more cooler.
Yeah.
Almost like it's a heroic pose sort of thing, where the cloak's waving in the wind.
Well, that was the other thing. Instead of, I'm not very good with plasticard, and the legend king master of them all, Kiblams, has just joined us. His plasticard inventions are insane, so it's definitely worth checking those out. But I'm not very good with plasticard, and one thing that Phil showed me a while ago is getting plasticard and a flame and melting the plasticard rather than trying to make a green stuff cape, and it works to a point. There's a video on the on wargameronline.com, wargameronline.com, and there's a video on painting the Emperor model that I converted, and with that I made a plasticard cape very similar to this. It was much bigger, and I just burnt away the cape so to give it sort of folds, and then once it dried it was hard, and you can see now this is dried, and I was going to just hook this over the back of this dude. I'll try and get it in the shot. So he's going to be like, I can't really see it, but it would kind of curl around the front of him, and then after that I can put green stuff over the top in layers to bulk it out, or I could just leave it as plasticard if I wanted to be really lazy. So yeah, plenty of choices, green stuff or plasticard, whichever works. So what else have we got? So that's the hardest miniature you have painted. If anybody else has got any other answers, what the hardest miniature you've painted is, put that in the chat and we'll read them out. What else have we got question wise? We'll do one from Craig. Out of the marine chapters in 40k, rules wise, which would you go for? Actually no, we'll do this one later because I haven't properly looked through. Let's do this a different way. We'll do this the rules one another time. But out of the marine chapters in 40k, which one would you go for and why? We'll do that as a chapter, not worrying about rules, and we can answer the rules when we've read them.
Okay.
We'll let everybody else answer that now.
Yeah.
So if you guys and girls put that in the comments now or in the chat and tell us which chapter you would do and why you would do it, and we'll read those out. So Mike, you can have a think about what you would do.
Yeah.
You're just going to go quiet now. Kiblams, any Infinity infantry model, those are super difficult to paint in my opinion. Yeah, why are they difficult? Is it because of the sculpts that are on them, or is it the what is it that makes them difficult for you, Kiblams? And Steve's put Blood Angels. I mean, Steve doesn't have to think about it. Blood Angels, awesome lore, and my first ever army, and still the only real. He's got that or Imperial Fist. Lord Tattoo, Salamanders, they are the best. Yeah, Lord Tattoo, you do love your Salamanders, don't you? How many points of Salamanders have you got up to now? Because I can never stick to a chapter. This was my issue.
Well, you're like that with pretty much any army.
I can't stick to anything.
You find it's difficult to stick to it.
I find it difficult to commit.
Well, a lot of the time it depends on your cases, doesn't it?
Oh, shut up. I like my case. Craig's put Flesh Terrors was for me. Love the kind of on the rope situation they are in. They are with the Imperium and the Dark Past for them, plus mental combat units. And Steve's put Raven Wing as well. You can't have two, Steve. The choice was pick a chapter, not 10. Although I do like the eye of... this is what I do. I pick 10. Kablams, the sculpted details are so fine that even washers don't work to shade them. None of my tricks work. Got you. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing with a lot of the recent stuff from GW and other companies. I mean, now we're looking at other stuff, not just GW. I'm seeing there's a lot of nice models out there, but a lot of the sculpts just bring out the detail by doing really basic stuff to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like we were looking at that Wild West Exodus, and they're such nice models.
Yeah, definitely.
Such nice models. And it's nice to look at other models. Everything as good as GW models are, it is nice to be looking at other models for once. Because for a long time, it was just all I'd ever be looking at was GW.
For all the time.
Well, yeah, all the time. So it's nice to be branching off and trying out these other things as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. So we've got Lord Tattooed between 3,000 and 5,000 points of salamanders. That's quite a chunk. Crazy Hippo 99. Thanks for joining us. Iron Warriors, but holding off jumping into a 40k army. Well, how come you're holding off? Is it for the new edition, or are you just? Is there another reason at play? Because I'm holding off starting my new 40k army, but that's mainly because I'm waiting for the new rules to come out. And I don't want to start it beforehand, because what generally happens is I'll build an army and then it'll change just as I'm finished. So
well, that happened with your Space Force, didn't it?
Yeah. My Heresy army was getting to the point where I was happy with my list and everything that was in there, and then Inferno dropped. And I should have realised, to be honest, because it's been announced for so long, but a lot of the changes, with most of the other Heresy armies, you can build a list and then you chuck in the special units. It doesn't make too much of a difference. Whereas with the Wolves, because you've got access to power weapons and all sorts like that in your normal squads, it definitely changed the list more than I was expecting.
Okay.
And things like my chaplain, you don't have chaplains, you have these priests, and they're allowed different types of war gear to a normal chaplain. So I've got to make new models for that. So definitely, got to change that up a little bit. What else have we got? You said I had Blood Angels and Fists. I also have Raven Wing. Yeah, okay, you've got 3. You can't choose. Kablams, I quite like salamanders myself, and not just because they're green. Is green your favourite colour, Kablams? Crazy Hippo, undecided between Chaos or Tau at the moment. Yes. See, Tau would be a choice, but for me it was between Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum, Chaos, Dark Eldar, and Tyranids. And the problem with that is Phil's doing Tyranids already. Jack's got Imperial Guard. What else? Was that Tyranids and Imperial Guard? Yeah. Then he will start Dark Eldar because he does all of Eldar. And that was it, wasn't it? So it leaves Chaos.
I think so, yeah.
So Chaos is the one that I'm pretty much going to choose.
See, I think I'm looking at Ultramarines.
For 40k. Is this an answer to the question of which 40k chapter would you...
I think so. I think it's more the colours for me than anything. And maybe that they've recently got a big model. But I've held off. I've held off doing it for so long. So when I first got into it, I was like, there's a lot of people that do Marines. I want to do something different, so I went with Eldar. But then when we started doing Horus Heresy, I had Salamanders done, and then I've not had a Marine army for 40k. So I thought I'll finally go down that route. I just think an army of Ultramarines looks quite cool. So I think that's why I'm going to go with them.
Well, you were thinking about it before all of this stuff came out, anyway.
Yeah,
There was a point where Ultramarines were like the main thing from GW, and everybody did them under the sun, and then it just dropped off, and you didn't see them that much. Like, even though they were still the poster boys for GW.
definitely.
That's
That's me. Cause like when I first got into it, that's all I was ever really seeing was just Marine armies. So that's what more so like turned me away from doing Marines.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, I've got Eldar as my main army, so doing a Marine army now doesn't seem as bad to me.
Yeah. You did a good job on the Salamanders.
Well, they could have been cleaned up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, but your theme was filth.
Yeah, it did look like they'd climbed out of the sewer.
Your Salamanders were painted like Death Guard. Actually, I think Death Guard were cleaner.
Yeah. I dare say it's the dirtiest. Like them Salamanders I did were the dirtiest looking army that I might have ever seen.
Dirty army.
Unless someone had dropped their models into a swamp and then picked them out.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be the only way something would have been dirtier.
DD606 has put, I'm floating past 10k of heresy eaters.
Ooh.
So 40k Marines are on the back burner, but wouldn't mind redoing my Blood Angels in the future. 10,000 points if that's World Eaters. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of... I mean, it depends. If you've got a lot of high point vehicles and like Angron in there, you can easily rack up the points in heresy. Quite easily. But if you've got a lot of infantry in that, they're still quite cheap, especially if you're doing like 20-man blob units. That's
yeah, definitely. Well, see, like fluff-wise, they're quite infantry heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, like just assault-based. Lots of drop pods and infantry and crazy axe-wielding maniacs. They're awesome. World Eaters are such a good army.
See, they sound like a cool army. It's just, it's painting the white, I think, that would just turn me away from them.
I think once you've nailed a certain like paint style or paint scheme, you can nail it, can't you? You can just do them all. My problem was finding a Legion that was quick enough to paint that I still enjoyed painting.
Yeah.
So that I could commit to it. So my word bearers, although they're fairly like I like the look of them in the end, they just took like much longer than I thought I could be bothered to do. For doing a large army anyway. I'm doing 2,000 points after the stuff I bought today, but
well, that's the thing. It's like if you're looking at doing a really high point army, like straight off the bat, then having a quick like paint scheme would be the ideal situation.
Yeah. What else have we got? Lord Tattoo, what kind of army you want, Hippo? Shooty or close combat? Kragum, it's Imperial Guard, never say those dirty words. I actually don't mind Astra Militarum as a name for an army now. Like, yeah, they are Imperial Guard, but Astra Militarum's grown on me.
Yeah, I've got used to it now.
Yeah, quite like it. And especially for like the newer people coming into the hobby, they don't know, like, other than obviously reading up that they used to be called Imperial Guard and other people calling them Imperial Guard, they're just Astra Militarum to a new player. So I think eventually that will be what they are. Tattoos put, I have Tau, Eldar, Khorne, Salamanders, Wolves, Necron and Orcs. Wow.
Quite a few armies.
You need a lot of KR cases for that. Kablams.
Too many cases for you.
Too many cases. I need another wardrobe. I might Kablams has put, I might have both Tau and Dark Eldar armies that are both green. Definitely like green. Are they the same shade of green? Because if you pick the same paint, maybe you just like that colour. Tattoo doesn't like Ultra Smurfs. That's okay. You don't have to.
There's a lot of people that aren't keen on Smurfs.
I love how everybody loves like messing with them. Really, though, everyone loves insulting an Ultramarine.
Yeah.
Or an Ultramarine player. Never gets old. Kidlam's nice to see a little sculpting on here. You a seasoned artisan or a dabbler? I am new. I am practicing. And what better time to practice than just doing a little hobby hangout with everybody and, getting on with it. And then if I mess up, everyone can laugh at me. Or be really supportive and say, that's okay, Sam, you're learning a new skill. Don't worry. DD606, is anyone else painting while watching? That was the idea. Hopefully people are. I mean, if you just want to sit and watch me spin this model around while I talk to you. Matthias, is this for AOS 28? No, it isn't. Well, it kind of could be. It's for the Sigmar Showdown challenge that we've set between Wargamer Online and the Chilling Wargamers. So the Wargamer Viking and myself decided to set up this challenge, and it's for anybody else to join in as well. But it is kind of like the Age of Sigmar 28 stuff. It's really dark, grungy, highly converted models, and just seeing what everybody can come up with, really. And it's just, you've got to get one model done by the 6th of May, and it started yesterday. So people have got a month to join in, and all you have to do is post up any sort of progress pictures of one model that you've been working on, and put the hashtag Sigmar Showdown in it, and put it on whichever social media site you want. And that's pretty much it. And we've got some really nice prizes. Spud's
is there anyone in the chat that's like started doing theirs yet?
I think there's at least a few people who are definitely like joining in with it. I'm not sure if I've seen too many pictures yet, but definitely if you've done it, post away. There's some decent prizes though. Spud's giving away 2 tickets to ChillCon and a Spud Rock, I think it's Spud Rock miniature, and we're giving away a 12-month membership, premium membership to our website. So there's some prizes, and it's just a little spur of the moment thing. We decided everyone might as well enjoy building something creative and getting a nice prize at the end if they end up winning. Plus, it's good to see. I mean, the bonus of that Dark Age of Sigmar page is like just looking at everybody else's creations, and it's insane. The quality of conversions that are on that page is just insane. I absolutely love it. And I sent a message to one of the admins on there, and I don't know whether we're gonna have some sort of feature in the future, maybe with some of the models or some of the members on there. But he lives locally, which I didn't realise until like he said it. So that's really good. Steve's put, "We laugh at you." That's nice, Steve. That's wonderful. Everybody bullies Sam. So you've picked Ultramarines for your chapter. I think out of 40k, I haven't actually thought about it, but I think it's between White Scars. 40k. There's quite a few actually, isn't there? Yeah, let's just go with White Scars because I've told everyone else they only get one.
Yeah, I see White Scars is something that you've like on and off thought about for quite some time, isn't it?
Yeah. They're cool. The problem is I don't like bikes.
I think you might come for the wrong sort of army.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is I like the look of them. If they were all on horses, that would be different, I think. I just don't like the bikes.
Would you not be tempted to do them on horses?
Yeah, but then people might shout at me. They're like, "Oh, Sam, what are you doing? You're supposed to be on horseback." Sorry, bikes, not horseback. See? Lord Tattoo, I'm looking into something to convert. That's amazing. Look forward to seeing that. You know what? I'm just debating on what to do, whether to do some sort of robes around the back of this thing.
I still need to decide on what sort of thing I'm going to be doing yet.
Yeah.
See, I'm toying with the idea of using one of the rat ogres from, I think it was Island of Blood, wasn't it? Where there's 2 rat ogres in that set, and using one of them and then giving it another pair of arms. A bit like Goro from Mortal Kombat. That sort of style is what I was thinking, but I need to try and find some other arms that are going to match to it, and then I'm going to have to attempt to do some green stuff on the back for muscles, which I think is going to be quite difficult to do.
Sorry, I just read Crazy Hippo's comment. Need some big horses. There's another word in there. But... maybe shoulder pads are the way to go. Yeah. I think there's a bit of lag. On Wednesday we had a bit of an issue with audio lag because when we do these Friday chats, I have to delay the audio to match the video.
Okay.
And I didn't turn that off on Wednesday, so there was delay on the audio, which was really annoying. But now, obviously, there's more of a delay, so our comments that people are posting come through afterwards, a little bit later.
Right, okay.
What else is there? So DD is painting an Acastus Knight. Oh, I don't even want to pronounce that, but I'm going to try it. Porphyron? That's probably killed it. Kiblams, I should be joining in. My very first AOS purchase should be tomorrow. Excellent. Definitely post up what you're going for. I think it was some sort of Skaven thing, wasn't it? I was rushing around trying to get stuff done before we came online, so I saw something about Skaven, but I haven't gone through the Facebook group and commented on anything tonight.
What are you talking about, sorry?
Kiblam. I think he was looking at Skaven.
Yeah, I think he was saying that he was looking at doing a Skaven army for Age of Sigmar, and he was looking for advice on what the best sort of box would be to start with.
Yeah. Well, you've got, what is it called now? Something of Dawn. Spire of Dawn, which is the old
Island of Blood set.
Island of Blood set, just remade with circular bases. So that's quite a good one. I don't know what their starter set is.
I think that might be it for Skaven. I think. I'm trying to think if there's any other boxes I've seen.
James is off. See you later, James. See you on Wednesday.
See ya.
Oh, and Craig. Got to shoot off, chaps. Enjoy the Sigmar mess. It's not a mess, Craig. I don't know what you're so negative for tonight. Honestly. So, Hippo says you pronounce it Porphyrion. That sounds better than the way I pronounced it.
I can't remember how you pronounced it now.
It's like Corferon. Steve's what I reckon you'd be more of a wolf follower, Sam. So there's a plague starter set for the Skaven, which he has his eye on apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think has that got a screaming bell in it?
Oh, if it does, that's an absolute bargain.
Not yeah, because if it's the screaming bell, you've got the plague furnace. I think it is the alternate build to it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
The great thing about those starter sets is how much value they are, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of the time in the boxes, there's normally at least one thing in that box that you're getting for free.
Yeah, or more, like that Lizardman, the Seraphon box. £50 for the Carnosaur.
Yeah, you're basically just paying. You just pay when you do that £50 box. You're basically just paying for the Carnosaur, and then you're getting two of the units, or is it three?
Two. I think you get some cavalry, the Saurus, the Carnosaurs, and you also get the Saurus warriors, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve just googled it. You're right, Mike. Plague Furnace.
Woohoo!
That's really good value then.
Yeah.
I was looking at using one of them for a Chaos War Shrine in 8th edition.
Yeah, I think I remember you doing that.
Right, let's do another question, shall we? Not done that many, actually. Warriors and Cavalry. There we go, we were right. So Chris Gibson asked a question. So what else? Kibbalamas, would you advise against the furnace, then put off the two? Then put off the two?
I'm not following.
I'm not. I think the furnace, is that what you're on about, the Screaming Bell? Can it be built as two things?
You build it one way or the other, I think, yeah. I think.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure on rules, but what are they? What's the difference between the two of them?
The Plague Furnace, I think if you're going for a Clan Pestilence sort of army, then you would go Plague Furnace, I think, because then it works around for rules in the formations for Pestilence, I think. The Screaming Bell, I think you normally, when you use it, you roll 2d6 to get a result on the table and different things that can happen. Like, I think if you roll 6, you summon a Vermin Lord, I think. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
The other thing is, though, you could always buy one of those sets, see how you get on with it, and then you could always end up buying a second one because of the value of it, and then do one of each.
Yeah. See, I don't know when building it if you can get away with doing it in bits that you could just swap it out and use it as either one. I'm not sure if it allows for that in the box.
So he's just said, I can make some pretty cool wood out of plastic art, so I fancy trying to make some cool conversions. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I rang Mike just before we came online, and he was telling me that you were looking at Skaven, Craig, And I was like, yeah, there's going to be some crazy plastic hard stuff. It's going to be insane. And it's all going to be flat packable. Imagine that, a Skaven army that you can just flatten down and put in your case.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Right, next question. So it was Chris Gibson. Reality of using Titans. Naturally, when you spend big money on one, you want to use it, but also the opponent may not want to face one. So would you A, drop money on it and hope and get loads of hobby out of it while hoping for a game, or would you only buy it if you knew you would get to use it?
Ooh.
Because I know what I mean. I've already told you in the past about Titans, really, for myself.
Oh, you'd sooner spend it on a whole army or something, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like I think it's just the price. Like the Warlord Titans, £1,200. So for £1,200, how many starter sets could I get? If at £50 a set, I mean, I could get a calculator, but
see, because
it's a lot.
I'd looked at the Eldar Phantom. I think it's a Phantom Titan, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd looked at that. But that's a bit too big, and then you've got the Revenants. I've thought about getting them because I think I can't remember exactly how much they are. I don't think it's on the same level as the Warlord Titan, but it's difficult then when finding some that will play, because obviously there's some players who's like, yeah, I don't mind, bring wherever you want and I'll play, but then there's be others that might turn their nose, but like, there's not a chance I'm playing against that because it's just not going to be any fun.
I've never played against one, but I think you could defeat it. Like, you've got so many I think D weaponry, even if you just had an Eldar army, you could kill a knight pretty easily, surely. Titan.
I think so. How many hull points has it got?
I've never even been against one. This is the thing. They're so rare.
And then does it have any? I can't remember if it has any rules then that decreases the amount of hull points that would be done to it through D weaponry.
I think some of them have shielding.
Yeah. See, if you got strength D, you can do a lot of damage to stuff like that. Especially if you are running a big wraith army, then and you can get close enough, you're going to do a lot of damage to that thing. So then,
I think a bigger question for me would be if one of your friends bought a Titan, would you let them win with it? Because imagine somebody buying.
Would I let them win with it?
Yeah,
what do you mean? Would I let them play with it?
Just imagine, right? You buy a Warlord Titan, or your friend buys a Warlord Titan, and then they rock up against you with your Wraith army, and you kill it in 2 turns. They've just spent a lot of time hobbying on it, like buying it, a lot of money buying it, building it, and then you like paint it, and then they come up and say, "Hey, Mike, do you want to try and game against my Titans?" And you go, "Yeah, it's dead. Take it off." How gutted would they be?
I would feel gutted for them at the same time.
As laughing your head off, going, "Ha! Another kill for the race."
That was something that used to happen at the store when I played a lad that was there. He'd bring a what's it called, big bloodthirster, I think it is. And then every time I played him, I'd kill him with one shot with the Wraith Knight every single game. So it became a sort of a joke between us.
Yeah.
But I could see no, even on his
yeah. I'm sure he enjoyed it.
So I did start when we started to play more games. I did start to. I wouldn't shoot at that first with the Wraith Knight.
I just think
if it was me that had the Titan, I don't think I'd mind so much because I'm quite easy when it comes to playing games. That if I lose, I lose. It'd be different if I'm going into a tournament, then obviously I really don't want to be losing. But just for normal casual play, it doesn't bother me that much. But I could see on the other side as why some people wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah. Rachel's just joined the chat. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
Hello, Tati's put, "Hey, Rachel, you're doing some painting tonight." Rachel has actually said, so this is massive news, okay? For Sigmar Showdown, if she gets time, she will actually build and convert a model for Sigmar Showdown. So this is massive because Rachel doesn't do any hobby other than playing games.
Have you got this in writing?
No, but I'm telling you all now. So This is as good as writing, if not better. So she said yes, she will build and convert a model, and then she will even try and paint it.
Sweet.
So that's like new level achievement unlocked. So that's pretty exciting. DD, I had Angron climb a warhound and chop its head off. Great fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, in terms of story, it is amazing. If you're having a narrative game against a friend and you have Angron chop off a Titan's head, that is just epic. One of those moments that you really hope for in games. It doesn't matter who wins or loses at that point. You just know that Angron is badass. So yeah, that would have been awesome to watch. I think the Primarch fights are always interesting. They always interest me the most. You know, when you send a Primarch into a fight against anything, you always enjoy watching what happens. Because if he gets beat by a bunch of like normal tactical marines, you're like, oh, you just, Dawn just got killed by tactical marines. What now? But if Kurz rips through a whole army, you're like, wow. Super stealthy Kurz just messed up the Dark Angels or something. It's exciting, I think, when you put a Dark Angel, when you put a Primarch on the table. And I think that's what you should have with a Titan. But for me, I wouldn't even be as excited with a Titan as I am for a Primarch. You know what I mean?
I think it would depend if you're playing. It's like how many points is do we even know how many points Warlord Titan is? Just at a guess.
2,000 for a Warlord, I think.
See, if you're doing like 10,000 upwards, and there's a lot of stuff on the table, and and then your opponent has one as well. I don't know. It's difficult to say, but I think big. If you're going to use it in bigger games, that's not so bad. If you're just bringing it, if it's 2,000 points and you're playing 3,000, then it's not going to be great then. But then it all depends on what your opponent's got. That's the.
Oh, that's the game, innit?
Yeah.
Got to know what you're doing. We saw. Actually, I'll just. So Kablams has just put the challenge, the Sigmar Showdown challenge, is getting everyone involved. It's dangerous. But I fear mine may end up just looking crazy rather than dark, cool like everyone else. Crazy is good. Like, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Like this whole challenge is not to have somebody who's better than the other. We've put some prizes up just as like, yeah, there you go. There's going to be some prizes at the end of it. But the main thing for this is everybody gets involved. They just create something. It doesn't matter on ability. Doesn't matter on end results. We just want to see what people can come up with. And the main thing is that everybody tries to make something unique. Like,
but crazy works. But in this hobby, crazy definitely works for whatever you'd come up with.
Yeah, Mike once did a salamander army where it looked like they crawled out of the sewers.
Are we going back to that again?
Every time. So today we were at Warhammer World. I'm going to keep saying this. But we saw a game going off, and I think it was 15,000 points either side.
Oh.
15,000. So I think it was it must have been a 10x4 or a 12x4. It was a huge table anyway, and they had everything on the table. They didn't have a Warlord, but there was like Magnus, Knights. There was a bunch of Forge, like pretty much every Forge World big thing was on the table, and it was just insane just to look at.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of models.
But when you've got that point of game, 15,000 points either side, killing Knights here and there that's the game. You upgrade a game from 30 tactical marines versus 30 tactical marines to 30 Knights versus 30 Knights. You just play
that sort of scale game. That's where I would, going back to the like Warlord Titan and stuff like that. That's where I could see it fits in best. Yeah. Is in that sort of high points.
And then going back to the question in general, I think if you're on the fence of whether you should buy a Titan on the basis of playing it with people or whether you want to do it for the hobby, I think the main thing is, do you want one, and why do you want it? That's the question you're going to have to ask more than anything. Do you really do you want to play games with it? And if so, the main thing would be speak to your gamers, to your groups that you're playing it with. If you're doing tournaments, obviously find out if you can take a Titan, because a lot of them say you can't. I wasn't sure what to do with this chest piece on this guy, whether to just build it into some sort of chainmail thing just hanging down from his neck, or whether to sculpt some very attractive looking Slaneshi breasts. I haven't quite decided yet.
I don't know.
I'm just playing around with green stuff. Right, so it's good to know, Sam, as my painting won't win me any awards. Yeah, but everyone's got different skills. Your plasticard skills will win you awards, Kablams. and it's all about practice. And Lord Tattoo, Kiblam, it's going to be green. That's a definite. You just paint it a dark green, it'll be fine. You may have seen my YouTube's friends. If you were down today, they popped around for some board games before heading home this evening, which was good. Were they playing games, or what were they doing? Because we went there around 2 o'clock-ish. We stopped over for some lunch. I didn't tell Rachel I had a Bugman's burger. Rachel, I had a Bugman's burger. It was wonderful.
You're in trouble now.
Yeah. Although I've made some pretty nice tea, so she can't complain. Not sure I can get away with painting Skaven green. That's what Nurgle Skaven are all about. Pestilence. Clan Pestilence. So yeah, exciting moments in gaming is what it's all about.
It's always fun when you've got like 2 big models or high wound count models that end up becoming one-on-one in a fight on a table.
They had a big table with a Warlord Titan on it. They mentioned the big game you did. I don't know where that was then. Unless we might have just turned up at a different time. We stuck around for a while because we were picking up some stuff. But we only went round the hall once. I'm not sure. Interesting. You'll have to let us know if it's a YouTube channel or anything like that. Because we could probably find out from faces. We saw a lot of faces. We saw there was 3 guys. They were playing a really cool game. There was Gilliman fighting off against a orc army, and Phil at the moment is going a bit crazy for orcs. Like the whole way round, he was like, "Ooh, more orcs. Oh, I definitely need to do orcs." And the Gilliman had basically charged forwards against this whole orc tide, and I was like, "That's it. Orcs are dead. Gilliman's going to slay everything." And he was like, "No, actually, the orcs they're killing Gilliman." So I was like, "Really? Gilliman shouldn't die." But one of the guys there used to be one of the store managers that I knew, and I recognised him. I was like, "I know you from somewhere," but I didn't say anything because I thought I'm going to be an idiot if I say anything. And then he popped over afterwards and said, "I recognise you. You were still at the store." I was like, "No, I'm gone." Telling them about Wargamer Online and all that, but it's good to see people again. There's just so many faces. You know, when you walk around places like Warhammer World and you see faces and you just go, "I don't know where I know them from." There's so many different people.
Yeah.
Channels are Tabletop Banter and a Crew Orangely. Potentially then. Potentially. Right, we've got time. We're on an hour. Shall we keep going for a little bit longer? Because I've done nothing.
Yeah, we can keep going.
We'll do a little bit longer. If anybody in the chat has got any other questions, please ask away. Otherwise, I can go back to this log of questions we've got from the Facebook page. Big game moment. Steve's brought up a big game moment. So when End Times happened and they brought out Nagash, this massive new fancy model, Steve bought Nagash and was probably the most excited person I saw to field him. And it was like, yeah, okay, no one wants to fight him because he's so powerful. And we managed to get this game set up. I don't know how many points. It might have been 3,000 aside. And Steve put his Nagash down on the table. And the enemy team shot one hell cannon shot and managed to kill it in one go. I think Teclis cast a spell to reduce its wounds down enough for the hell cannon to then one hit it before Nagash did absolutely anything. And Steve's face was priceless. I'll never forget that. And I would love to see it over and over again. This is why I actually like playing or watching games that Steve's in, because when something bad happens, it's seeing the reaction. It's like, yeah, that was worth watching. I don't care what happens in the game. Just somebody do something that's horrific. Just to see that happen. Rachel, would you like any chips, cheese and gravy? I've made a batch of. Rachel, you're obsessed. After I just made tea as well.
Oh, dear.
It's Lord Tattoo killing gravy with cheese. Poor gravy. No, right. Chips, cheese and gravy is the greatest creation. Right, I've just realised this looks like a bib. I've just given my...
I can't see it at the minute. So.
I've given my Dark Warrior a bib. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh well. What else have we got? Tom Wilson, he's asked what's the big fuss about non-metallic metals lately? That's an interesting one.
What's the fuss with it?
I think it's just one of those techniques that's quite difficult.
Yeah, it's up there when you think of like degrees of difficulty for painting.
I'm gonna move my camera while you're talking as well.
Then that would be up there. Like I myself, one day want to learn to better do it, just so it's something else I can add to I can tick off the list that I can do. I'm a long way off being able to do anything like that, but it's definitely something I'd like to pick up, and even if it's a small area on a model, I don't know if I'd ever had the guts to try and do an entire model in non-metallic, but it's definitely something I'd want to pick up, just so for myself more than anything, that it's something else then that I can add to a model on a whim if I want to do that.
It's the same with all things, isn't it? You can just keep doing stuff that you're happy with. Like if you know you can paint blue or red or green in Kablam's case, if you're happy just sticking to that stuff, there's no problem with that. You just keep enjoying the hobby and do what you enjoy. But for some people, you want to push yourself and learn new techniques. And I haven't done it for so long. Like I'm only just starting to do things like learning how to do green stuff. Starting to chop models up more than I normally do, like getting a model and literally cutting it to pieces and then trying to make it work again.
Yeah, well, it's like it goes back to that thing of there's no right or wrong way of how to paint something. Each person's going to be different, and it goes back to that thing of it's what you're happy with.
Yeah, and just stick with what you're happy with.
Yeah.
Rob Norton's joined us. Hello, Rob Norton. He won the first prize, and it still hasn't turned up. So we're thinking it's stuck in customs, which is rubbish. I wish we could just have like carrier pigeons.
That would be quite cool.
Yeah, you've won this week's prize. A carrier pigeon has just departed. We could send you, Mike.
I was going to try and do what they called an impression of a pigeon, but I thought not.
I wasn't going to say you could be a pigeon. I was going to say you could just deliver stuff.
No, but it just popped into my head, but I managed to stop myself. I'm embarrassing myself
from making a pigeon noise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping yourself. See, this isn't working. It's supposed to be chainmail, but yeah, that's not how you sculpt chainmail. Maybe I'll just go for breasts. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Maybe I do. Maybe I just do fur. Drop pod delivery. Yeah, that's one way to deliver stuff. See, fur, green stuff in fur is my favourite thing because you just cover up mistakes with it.
So you've done that, like you've tried fur quite a few times, haven't you?
I love doing fur. Just because if it goes wrong, it's fine. Let's just do some fur. Otherwise, this model will never get done. Oh, James. Right, everyone's food's arrived. So non-metallic metals, yeah. I really like the look of it. However, I do like the look of normal metallics as well. Like Moggy does his superb looking gold. And if you put that next to somebody who's painted non-metallic metal modelling exactly like two people with the same skill level, non-metallic metal and those metallics, yeah? I still think I would prefer the normal metallics. And I still think it goes down to preference.
Yeah.
Kiblams. Maybe I'll just go for breasts, Sam. 2017. Yeah. We're going to start quotes. We're going to have to watch what I say. What was I saying?
Non-metallic metals.
Yeah, so I actually think I prefer the normal metallics a lot of the time. And there's certain models that I like it on. You know, if you get like if say you got that rat, the assassin guy, Snick. I've seen him done with a non-metallic metal blades, and that's it. So he's got just everything's quite dark and grungy, and then you've got non-metallic blades, and that worked really well. However,
I do like blades when they're done in non-metallic.
Yeah, but anything else, I'm not as keen on. So I think it also comes down to the preference of what the model is that you're doing, and whether it would look better with normal metallic or non-metallic metals. We'll get Rachel doing non-metallic metals. She's never painted before, and she'll just nail it. Steve's playing Taxi. See you later, Steve. So what is everybody else doing tonight? Is anybody working on any hobby? Or are we all just chilling and listening in tonight? And are there any new people as well? Just join in the chat. We've got 20 odd people. It's going up and down. When we start talking about my model, it must be going down. I was going to say when we're talking about breasts, but I didn't want to go there.
No, it's not bringing up again.
No. Lord Tattoo. I've been playing with coloured metallics.
I have seen Marines done before, and with that, I think I can't remember
Like the golden
when it was. Yeah, it might have been. There was a unit that I can't remember the guy's name.
Is it the Blood Angels ones?
It might have been the Blood Angels ones. Yeah,
they were incredible. They were in like a victory scene, weren't they?
Yeah, it was like a diorama where there might have been a flag. Yeah. I'm not 100% on it, yeah. But I do like the look of them.
Yeah, they were definitely a really good job. I don't know if Mephiston was in there as well. There was definitely some sort of character. It might have been an apothecary, but that red metallic and non-metallic metal was great. Rob's put non-metallic metals is my next big thing. I'm going to finish my traitor librarian soon. That's cool. You need to stick some pictures up of this stuff on the Facebook group, Rob, just so we can see it. If you're not on there already, just go on Facebook and put in Warhammer Online Community in the search bar, and you can join the group through there, and we'll just accept you. And then you can post up pictures of anything you're doing. Crazy Hippos painting the Carnosaur. Is this the big red one? Because that's looking really nice if it is. What else? James editing a new bat rep. Nice. Is this another Zone Mortalis? I keep saying Mine Mortalis because that's what Phil says they are. And when I go Zone Mortalis, it's like, no, it's mine. Yeah, but we're playing Zone Mortalis. No, it's mine though. Okay, Phil. No worries. Matthias playing Empyrean meanwhile. Survival Minecraft game in space. Oh. That's interesting. Has that only just come out? Because we like Ark and games like that. Waiting for Conan to come out on the Xbox, I think. Definitely going to have to give that a go, aren't we, Mike?
Definitely.
Crazy Hippo. Right, Neil Malden looking at a Prussian 6 PDR that I'm trying to find the energy to paint. What is a 6 PDR? Forgive me for my ignorance, because I've been in this Games Workshop bubble, and only today I've actually gone out and had a look at Warlord game stuff, like World War II tanks and things like that. So I've been in a bubble, and I'm trying to learn all this new hobby magic which is out there. Anyone got a link? It's not showing up. Rob Norton. If anybody who is in the Facebook group can put the link in there. If not, I'll put it in the description after this goes up. Or Rachel, could you please do that? Get the link for the group and post it in the chat. If you would be so kind. £6 a cannon, £7 a cannon. People are building 40k spacecrafts, of course, in this game and can fly around with it. That sounds awesome. Can you exterminate as planets at the same time? That's what I would like to do. What other techniques are you trying to learn at the minute then, Mike?
Well, at the minute I want to try and work on my blending a bit more, because I find too often that there'll be times where you can't see the any steps in the blends, but then more often than not you're starting to see a slight step between the two colours, which I want to try and get to a point of where there is no steps. That would be the main thing for me at the minute, is working on that. what else? Because I was watching some videos the other day, wasn't I? Because if I can eventually get to nailing that, I will then move on to trying to do the Harlequins and then do them with the diamonds.
Yeah.
That's my next goal.
I mean, what was that guy's channel? Was it Cujo? Cujo Painting?
Cujo. Yeah, it's Cujo something.
We've subscribed to him on the channel, but ridiculous. I'm just gonna. I mean, you can do this whichever way you want, guys. You can use templates, but I'm just gonna freehand this design over the top of a wet blended model, and yeah, have fun. When it goes wrong, don't worry. Okay, no worries, Cujo. That's
some insane stuff.
It's crazy. Mahanika, evening guys. First time joining the Hangout, really helping with the productivity. Well, that is the idea. Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, thank you.
And it helps keep us productive as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, normally it descends into madness. However, if we just keep talking hobby, we actually get stuff done, don't we?
Well, yeah, and it's nice to
chat to
all the community and things as well.
Although I am messing up green stuff. I keep telling myself, just keep playing around with the sculpting and you'll learn it eventually. And these sort of projects are definitely a way to force you to learn new things.
I am looking forward to starting to do mine.
Not Mike, Phil in the car. Because I was saying that this guy, I wanted him to be sort of like a mini Mortarian.
Okay.
Because he's got the big scythe, I wanted the wings. I wanted to paint them in like black, and he's got the hood and the chainmail on his face. So I was like, yeah, he's going to be mini Mortarian. And when we were in the shop, Phil picked up the model that he decided to go with and was just shouting Magnus, because that's all he's doing now. Just stands in the middle of the shop and goes, Magnus, Magnus. Like, Phil, they're going to put you away. Like, stop it. Magnus. Like, Phil, seriously. It says it's Age of Sigmar. You can't do 40k models in Age of Sigmar. It's like, what are you doing? Oh yeah, Mortarian, mini Mortarian. But then we both realised we're doing mini versions of our gods in Age of Sigmar, and both of them are going to have wings. So he was trying to make sure that I was happy if he did wings on his models, whether that would be okay or not. I was like, oh yeah, it's your model. You can do what you want. Just because I've put wings on my model doesn't mean you can no longer do that with yours. I'm excited to see what he does. He'll probably just 3D print all of his conversion stuff and then glue it onto it, won't he?
I imagine he's going to come up with some sort of insane thing, though.
There'll be LED lighting on it. There'll be a fog machine that goes with it.
Yeah.
He's like,
flashing.
You wanted it dark, didn't you? Yeah. Right, it's got lights, it's got fog. There's a little lever here that makes it walk, and the wings flap. Okay, Phil, nice one, cheers.
And it can actually take off the base.
Yeah. Everyone's good at different things. Phil's good at making stuff like that, as well as his airbrushing. And he's editing a battle report, and he's so excited. He's so excited, bless him. His intro, he was like, look at my intro. My intro's so good. Because, we changed the music, didn't we, on our battle reports that we've done so far. So you get the first, our like WGO music come down with the logo, and then it kicks into like a 24, 25 second intro with music on it, and that music is just amazing. We're in love with it. So Phil's now done an enhancement on the music with a different scene as well, so he's all excited, bless him. So I was going to sculpt a breast, but because I've done this like weird fur stuff on him, I'm thinking maybe I could get away with just a cheeky nipple there instead. That might work, with some fur coming down off his shoulders. It is interesting using this stuff.
What's that?
Green stuff.
Green stuff.
Yeah. What else have we got? Oh, they're talking to Rachel about board games. I'm going to leave them to it. Rob Norton posted a pic of my Titan. Brilliant, Rob. We'll definitely check that out after this and comment. It's quite active, the Facebook group is. So feel free to just post away. And
yeah, there is a lot of people posting up now every day.
Which is great. There's a lot of interaction. And we don't mind people posting up links to things like your personal blogs or any other YouTube channels or anything like that, the only thing we try and stick to is not to spam it. Like we put up the stuff we've done as well, but only every now and again. We don't want to spam it with things like that. But anything that you think would be helpful to the group, or you think people would be interested to look at, feel free to post up.
Well, it's like a lot of the posts that people are putting up, whether it's pictures of armies or single models, stuff like that. It's inspiring me to try and crack on and get stuff done. Especially, there's a couple of people on the community page where they're just smashing armies out. It's like,
yeah, well, James.
Yeah.
James is one of them.
James,
like,
yes, definitely.
I'm a bit angry with him actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've had a really productive day. I'm going to get on with something else, and I look on Facebook like, oh, nice one, James. Just done a legion.
Entire army done. Yeah.
Yeah, you just finished a legion, right? What are you doing next? Maybe that will be a challenge for James. Like a challenge for most of us is to get an army done. Maybe the challenge for James is to do all of the legions within like a 4-year period, minimum to 2,000 points. Mahanika, do you think the rumored GW Mortarian will have a cheeky nip? I need to change my language. I didn't think nipples were offensive because it's just it's the thing, isn't it? So, and it's actually what I'm going to sculpt. So it's not a. Phil's going to shout at me again. Matthias, so the anchor in the rumor engine from last week. People think it's Mortarian holding. That's cool. The anchor holding chains in the ground. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm building Mortarian. What you don't realise is this is like Magnus size. My hands aren't the right scale. That's the only thing. I wish I could sculpt. James has said sorry for being such an excellent hobbyist. Don't worry, a legion a week. Yeah, I mean the thing is, you could do that, James. A 4-year period, lol, for 20k points, 2k points. Yeah, for each legion. I think he'd do it within the year, Rob. This is the problem. I'd set the challenge of per week you have to do 2,000 point legion, and he just does it.
Yeah.
My problem is I'd pick a legion and then I'll have already switched legion before the end of the week.
Yeah, you are notorious for that.
It's really bad, and it's something I want to try and curb for the rest of this year. And I have done fairly well. I mean, I stuck with word bearers. I at least got almost 1,000 points of that stuff built.
Yeah, well, do you reckon you'll still add some more to them?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I bought today. I bought Lorgar. I bought Marigal, the Dreadnought, and it's my favourite. The reason I chose word bearers was because of all of the fancy Forge World models. They've got so many unique looking models for the word bearers that I just decided that even though I hated them in the story, I would buy them. And then I listened to the first Heretic audiobook and I fell in love with the Legion as well. So after hating them all the way through and then like deciding to buy them just for models, now I actually enjoy the Legion and I love the models. So it's kind of win-win for that.
So I mean, them word bearers you've done so far, they look awesome.
I'm quite pleased with them, and I'm going to get it up to 2,000 points. I'm putting a Primarch in at 2,000 points just to boost it up. It's not an optimal list, but I'm just using the stuff I've got. So for 2,000 points, I've got Lorgar, a Chaplain, 2 tactical marine units, 1 unit of Galvorback in a Land Raider, and a Dreadnought. I think that's it. There's not much.
No, going back to the paint on them, how exactly are you going about? How do you do the scroll work on them, like on the armor?
Using paint.
Thanks, Sam.
Did you say Hun or Sam?
Sam.
Thanks, Hun. I was like, Mike, this is an online chat. You can't use that sort of terminology on here. Rachel's here as well.
No, it was definitely Sam.
I use an artificer brush and thinned paint. So when I'm painting black, I use black ink because it's really thin. It goes on much better than normal paint, I find. And that's how I do the black. But whenever I use white, I use pallid witch flesh rather than pure white.
Okay.
And I just thin it down with medium and just try and hold my breath.
There's a lot of scroll work on an army for you to be holding your breath.
Could breathe underwater. I'm like Aquaman level holding my breath now. But that's my favourite bit. Like a lot of people say, oh, a lot of people say that it must take a long time to do the script. It's not actually that long at all. Once you've got used to painting it, it's pretty quick. And it's the last part, one of the last parts of actually finishing the models is just going around all of the areas with script.
Okay.
Kibblams, I love that you can hold a conversation while playing it easily. Is that the board games they're talking about? Yeah. James, I can chat about my ways on Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to have James from Without a Clue Wargaming on the weekly chat next Wednesday. So he will be our guest of honour.
Awesome.
So he can just steal all of his hobby tips and tricks. I think we'll just base next Wednesday's chat will be heresy, army painting, tips and tricks session. We'll just do a full hour of talking about James and how he paints a legion in an hour. What else have we got? Yeah, so James Wordbearers started it all. I hate them. Yes, but James, don't knock them. Like
it sounded like there was quite a bit of venom in that. I hate them.
I hated them as well. You know, Erebus, as a character, I just wanted him to die. I absolutely hated him. And Lorgar as well. And the rest of the word bearers, I thought they've got no personality. I don't care. They're just drones. They're just following the word of Lorgar or whatever. They're just traitors and heretics, and I don't like them. And that's the only sort of attitude that I had for them. Then after listening to the first heretic, I think his name is Argul Tal, and he's the best, like one of the best characters in the heresy so far, without a doubt. He's just such a good character. They fleshed him out so well in the book. There's a bunch of other characters in there as well. And you kind of feel sorry for the word bearers as you get through the story as well. I'm not going to spoil stuff because
I was just about to say, is there going to be any spoilers now?
No. I'm not going to spoil stuff, but it's well worth reading or listening to because it does give you another side to the word bearers and it explains why they are like they are, and you do feel for them by the end of it. I mean, certain characters, like most legions, they have some sort of character where you're just like, yeah, I don't like him. Was it Emperor's Children, Eidolon? I didn't like Eidolon at all. But when they brought out the model, it was such a stunning model. I was like, I do like Eidolon, actually. That's one of those moments where you go, I hate him. Oh, but I want him.
Yeah.
That's another quote. I hate him, but I want him. Tonight's dangerous.
It is.
Talking about Dominion now in the chat. Good old card game.
I think I've played that before. I think.
Yeah, we played that at Pink's, I think. We played, I don't know if we've already talked about it, but when we went to the... we'll talk about Salt Harvest in a minute because he's a boss. But we went to the shop, the local shop, for that tournament at the weekend, didn't we?
Yes.
And we were sitting around just waiting for people to finish their games because they were obviously at a tournament, but we wanted to take videos of their armies and have a little chat to them about what they took and why they took it. And in the like gap, we were just kind of sitting around and just chatting. And we played a game, and it was called Roll for It. How good was that game?
That was a lot of fun. Easy to play, but it didn't take long before it did start to feel like it was getting competitive. I thought, yeah, it's just a quick game, it'll be fine. And it was like, I think before that, I'd been saying to you, I like games where you just like, you have to roll dice for it. I find them quite fun. And it's like, after the game, I don't like them games anymore.
One game, we almost had a heresy of our own. Like, it was...
Yeah.
It was getting brutal. And the idea of the game is that you get these cards. You put down 3 cards, and they tell you a combination of dice that you need to get in order to win the card and score the points. And it's as simple as that. And you get something like 6 dice to play with. So you go round in a circle, you roll your 6 dice, and then you have to match them up to a card. But once you put the dice onto the card, you can't then roll them when it comes back around to your turn again. So you've got a choice of whether you risk setting your dice on cards, or you keep them so that you've got more chance of getting the numbers you need to win the card. But obviously everybody in the game is trying to do exactly the same thing. So you've got to properly choose where you're going to put your dice, otherwise you're going to miss out on points. And I got really lucky. I was getting all these where you needed to get all 6 dice with the same number, and I was winning those. And then Phil just snuck straight past me and took the win, and then rubbed it in my face afterwards. And I was like, this is fine. It's just a game where you're rolling dice. It's no problem at all. Loving it. Like, rolling dice. Yeah, oh, I'm going to win, actually. This is great. And then Phil just beat me. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Almost flipped the table over a game where you just roll the dice. We don't play nice. You know what?
No, but you do get moments. You can. I find, like, over several games I've played and stuff, like with tabletop games, that it can strain like friendships at time only during the games. Like once the game's done, everything's back to normal.
Sometimes after.
But during games, it can get a bit heated. Would be the right word for it.
I don't play Steve anymore after the last time he quit. he was trashing everybody with his Raven Wing, and I turned up with my Wraith army, which is just horrible to play and horrible to play against. And just took all of his Raven Wing off and was like, yeah, well now. I felt horrific, but because he'd been beating everybody, I was like, yeah, you deserve it. And after that, I don't think I played my Wraith army other than once against Phil. And then Phil really did not like that game either. I think that goes back to playing the right army against the people you're against. If I went to a tournament with that army, it would be fine. But if you're playing against mates, it's like, no.
Well, it depends. It depends on the person. It's like I said earlier, with me, bring whatever you want to bring. I'll play just to enjoy the game at the end of the day. But then obviously there is going to be some people where that's just not fun for them if they are. Obviously no one wants to get trashed. As long as you can do something in the game.
Not like Steve.
But
Steve just put hated Sam for a month, lol. I think it was more than a month. I think it was about 6 months. And he's like, I just beat somebody with my Raven Guard. Remember the Wraith. Just remember, Steve. We've had good games though, Mike. Like, you know what I'm like. Even if I'm playing for fun, I don't like losing, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, for a long time, you found it difficult playing games because if just the slightest thing went wrong, you just wanted to walk away and not play anymore.
I'm just rubbish to play games with. I really am.
Well, you've got a lot better now with it. But it's like, I think it's a lot of the time it's finding that right person to play. If you can be laughing and joking through the entire game, even if your army's been completely wiped out, if you're still having a joke in that, then that's what the game is meant to be. It's meant to be fun. That's what this hobby is all about.
We've had games that both of us have got completely trashed, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. I've had other games where I've got beaten really quickly, and I just like, what was the point in that? But then I've had games against you where you've wiped me out really quick, and it's like, it's not bothered me. I think it is all about the people you play against.
Yeah. There's always going to be some people that you don't enjoy playing against. You're always going to have that. But it's find that one or even a group of people that every game you play, it's fun no matter what the result is. And then just stick with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely that's the way I always look at it, is have fun whilst playing.
Because the thing is, like, my idea was I don't want to lose because that's not fun. Losing is not fun, but it is as long as the game is engaging and you are doing stuff. When it's not fun is when you get blasted off the table and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes boring for you and the opponent, or the other way around, depending on who's getting destroyed.
But it's like, if you're doing it between friends, what you can always do is when you're both writing lists is that you try and work it like speaking between you, is that you come up to lists where you think it would be quite balanced between you, so that it would be a fairly even game. One of those ones where you don't know which way the game's going to go.
Well, our Sigmar games have been going like that. Sigmar is so... I know everybody like dislikes it or slates it quite a lot, but I'm in love with the game. And the reason I'm in love with it is because it's fun regardless of what happens. Yeah,
well, it's like when it first came out, we were all excited about it anyway because it was something new. And then we started to find that you'd have some people where they would, because there was no points, they'd bring so much. But then it was like me and you, we found that, I don't know if it was I was playing against you or played someone else, I found that I was winning a lot of the games because of what I had. So then I try and work it that I take something out of that list that is going to make it a lot more even. So then both people that are playing the game are enjoying it then.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did when we balanced it. Your Skaven, you had Thankful. Thankful is disgusting. I mean, one of his rules, if you have the shooty things, you just roll 2d6, and that's how many mortal wounds the enemy takes. You don't even need to hit. You don't need to wound. The enemy doesn't get a chance. It's just 2d6.
Yeah, you're just rolling to see how much damage that you're doing against them.
And it's a close range thing, but it's brutal.
But so like with that, what I started to do then was I'd say to my opponent, I'm going to roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, he's got the fists. On a 4 to 6, he's got the flamer.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, why? And they say, because you don't really want me to take
Watch
flamers.
What happens if I take flamers.
So I always say, we'll roll a dice or whatnot, and then a lot of the time I was hoping, please be the fist, because otherwise, because what I was finding a lot of times, I'd walk up to their big model, roll 2 dice, it's dead. What about saves? No, you're not getting that. And you could see their face change immediately. So it's just finding that balance between people. But now there's points. It's
more balanced.
It's more balanced now.
Yeah, it's still brutal, but it's more balanced. We've got some more answers here. We'll go through these. So, sorry about this. Keep chatting away. We will get through it. Me and Mike just get sidetracked sometimes. Rob Spot, I play for fun, even getting trashed. Dark Eldar is my primary. I mean, Dark Eldar, that was one of the reasons I was looking at doing them, because you either win big or you lose big. And it's quite...
Yeah. Well, there was a lad that I used to play at the store who had Dark Eldar. And obviously I played Rave, so obviously it's a bit of a weakness for me is going against the Dark Eldar with all the poison and stuff. But they were fun. I found that was like one of the funniest games I used to play. Because it wasn't like normally when I took the Wraith list, it's like, okay, my army's a lot stronger than yours, but going against some of that, it made it more interesting. And he was always willing to have a laugh whilst playing as well.
Definitely. Al Wood, modelling mayhem. He's just joined us recently. Thanks for that as well, Al. Playing a game for fun is what it's all about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Without a clue again. Next year, guys, Zone Mortalis based tournament. I want every legion represented. It's a brilliant idea. I'll probably be on another 2 or 3 legions by next year. I'm going to have wolves and word bearers, and I'm potentially going to have white. I'm pretty much going to have white scars next as my next 30k list. Steve, I've always enjoyed games with Mike. Yes, they are brilliant. I love playing games against Mike. Mike is battle rep Mike.
Yeah.
Kiblams,
just in case anyone didn't know already.
Kiblams, I lose every game, so I have to enjoy losing. Right, just play Wraiths. You'll never lose again.
No, you can still lose with them.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how you did that, Mike. Lord Tattoo, I like to play players that brag about how good their army is. Yeah, I don't.
Is that for when you beat them and then you can just laugh at them afterwards?
Yeah. Al Wood, I'm interested in what you think about Sigmar. Oh, Al, I mean, we can go on for another hour and a half at least on Sigmar love.
That's a dangerous question to ask you.
This is the danger of Phil not being on the chat, because you know when I start going off on Sigmar and saying how amazing it is and how much I love it, it feels like shut up, 40k.
Although I think we've done well so far tonight on the chat of keeping it between 40k and Sigmar, and even getting into the other game types and stuff as well. We've not been heavily sided to one thing.
No, we've tried to include everything. Everything's great, but Sigmar is amazing. I love it. If you want to talk Sigmar, Al.
I like you went from that. Everything's great, but Sigmar's amazing.
Do you know what? It's actually really good. You know, there's times where you fall out of love with the hobby, don't you? And you just you kind of get exhausted and you can't be bothered, or you know you're tired of painting, or you're tired of playing the same stuff over and over again. And I'm in that moment where Sigmar is amazing. I love it. I want to play games. I want to paint armies. I want to build new armies, and that's exciting. And I want everybody else to join in.
Well, it's like how I found it is like the way I always looked at between 40k and Age of Sigmar was 40k was more competitive sort of side of it, and then Age of Sigmar was more fun than anything. Just because the games are quick, everything's the rules are all simple. You've not got your going back to it again. You've not got your head stuck in a book for the entire game.
Well, Al's just brought up. Were you ever into The Hobbit? And we tried. I mean, when Lord of the Rings first came out, I really enjoyed the game. The game itself was a lot of fun, and it was quite simple because you moved every individual model by themselves. I never bothered playing The Hobbit because when they changed it into the army game, what was that called?
The army game.
You know where you have, instead of moving individually, they went on movement trays, and it was effectively like fantasy in the end. So I thought, well, I can play
can't
fantasy.
remember.
It was another name anyway. They changed the format of the rules, and from that point on, I stopped playing it. But the other reason I didn't like it as much was because you don't have the modelling side of... Oh dear, my green stuff just gone. You don't have the modelling side of Lord of the Rings as you do with Sigmar and 40k. Like, you can do bits, but it's not to the same extent. I can't just pick up a model like this and chop it up and then call it something and start playing a game. If I chop up a Minas Tirith archer and turn it into an orc, someone's going to look at me funny. But you can do that in 40k and Sigmar. I like the converting and the modelling and the painting aspect of the other games, but the gameplay of Lord of the Rings was really fun. And Sigmar, for me, has got both.
So I think I had one quick intro game to Lord of the Rings. I can't remember too much about it. Like wasn't each model like it's its own unique thing when it moves, so you're not doing it like a unit.
Yeah, and they all have you have your heroes with might, will, and fate points. So you can adjust the results of dice. Like if you have like Aragorn and you're about to get killed by something and you need to roll a 3 or more and you fail it by 1, you can use one of your might points. I might be wrong now, but I'm pretty sure it was like that. You can use one of your might points to adjust that roll by 1, so that you can. So it's your main core game is very much the same, but you've got heroes that can affect dice rolls, and it doesn't seem like much, but it was quite a big thing.
Wasn't it quite a low model count as well to play games?
Yeah, until they brought out the army one, and I'm not sure whether that's why they went to the whole army thing afterwards.
Okay.
Bazooka J Rambo, the converting is what I like and what put me off the Lord of the Rings models, yeah. So it's the same with me. I think some people love Lord of the Rings just because of it being Lord of the Rings, and I know a lot of people do, and there's no problem with that. But for me and for you and a lot of other people, it's all about making unique models, converting stuff, and it's your hobby at the end of the day. You're not just replaying stuff from Lord of the Rings, or doing different skirmishes based on Lord of the Rings stuff. And that's what I like about it. Bazooka, if you haven't already seen, join in with Sigmar Showdown. You'll love it if you like converting. Just watch the video that went up yesterday if you haven't already, and post your stuff. I want to see some really cool conversions. Al Wood, yes, that's right. That's how you would use might. That's awesome. I haven't played Lord of the Rings in years, and I still remember that. That's how simple. That's how simple it was. You know what I'm like with rules.
Yeah.
It has to be simple to keep you interested. But Al, that is Age of Sigmar in a nutshell. It's simple enough to keep you interested, but it's got the scope for a lot of modelling and a lot of choice. Right, this guy has got like fur over his back, down his shoulders, and on his chest. Maybe
if we had many more questions, because I think we've been going an hour and 40 now.
An hour and 40 minutes. Okay,
yeah.
Well, we can call it. Or we can answer some more.
Well, let's see if there's any more. See if there's any more questions in the comments now, because I don't mind answering some more.
It's quite a long one tonight, but it's been quite fun. The thing is, the longer we do these, the more people turn up, and it's not a problem if people come and go, and people can ask questions, and it's quite fun. I don't think we'll do too much over 2-hour shows, but maybe we could do like our 1 hour session on a Wednesday. It's going to stay like that. But on a Friday, because it's you and me, or it might just be me and Phil or whoever, it's going to be like 2 to 3 people maximum on a Friday. We can answer a lot more questions in that. I've got some questions. We can answer a lot more questions in the chat and interact a lot more. Bazooka J Rambo, I've posted the Death Questor yesterday, the one with a horned helmet and an axe. Yeah, that one was amazing. And I like the story that goes with that as well. He's kind of like a dwarf slayer. So Bazooka J Rambo made this Sigmar guy, and what's he called? Death Questor. I hope it's that one. But
was it the first one that got posted up yesterday?
On the Facebook page, yeah. But he basically said he's just on a mission to fight the biggest thing to die, to be reborn. And it reminded me of the dwarf slayers, because they just want to fight a big monster, don't they, and just die, and then. That's what they're after. But the Sigmar
they're looking for an honourable death, aren't they?
Yeah, they have to go out fighting the biggest thing they can. But this Sigmar dude's like that, but he's going to come back to life. So it's like, I'm going to keep killing stuff, and I know I'm going to come back. It's like, yeah, that's even better than a dwarf slayer. He's got to come back and keep killing people. Matthias has said red sauce or brown sauce. difficult. It depends what you want to have it on. Because like bacon, brown sauce.
Brown sauce.
Chips,
I'm just going to say
sauce.
brown. I'd say brown sauce all day long. I'm not keen on tomato sauce.
Oakley dokley. I've finished the Coven Raider. Right. I'm actually quite happy with how this dude is coming out now.
I wish I could see it.
You'd probably be like, oh, it's hideous. Have you started yours yet? Or have you at least picked your model that you're going to do it with?
We were speaking about it earlier, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. You keep changing your mind.
No, I didn't. I said what I was thinking about earlier, but for anyone that's joined us in the chat now that wasn't here earlier, what I'm looking at doing is using one of the rat ogres from the old Island of Blood set, and I'm looking at giving him another pair of arms at least. Yeah, it is only going to be one. I'm not going to be going another two because that's just going a bit bizarre. But I'm more thinking almost like Goro from Mortal Kombat, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
or even similar to that golem in the new box that's just come out. What is it called? I was telling you about it yesterday.
Oh, the
I can't remember what it was called now.
Fantasy Flight Games, one of theirs.
I think so.
So you checked me out looking at other games other than GW. And we saw Frostgrave today as well. That was good. Kiblams, you'll be proud of me. We went and looked at Frostgrave.
But that's my sort of idea at the minute of where I'm going to go with it, is that, and then I'm going to need to do a bit of green stuff in to join the arms, like with adding some more muscle between the new pair of arms and the back. So I'm going to have to look into doing some green stuff.
They're just talking about food now, and Rachel's joined in, so obviously this is just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Proper derailed, Matthias. Awesome. Right. The other one, I think Al's doing a ogre conversion for his model.
Nice.
So that'll be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a few interesting things that crop up with this. It's going to be nice to see all the different ideas that people have.
I'm really excited to see people's videos that they post up as well, and like just going on Instagram and seeing the hashtags Sigmar Showdown and just like, look, more people have joined the fray. Because it could get pretty exciting. I want to wake up in the morning and I want at least one person to do a video on another video update, because Spud did his today on what he's been doing. He's decided to do a warband rather than an individual model. But it'll be awesome if I wake up tomorrow and see something else posted by another YouTuber or another person. Lord Tattoo, looked at Bolt Action yet, Sam? Yes, Lord Tattoo. Like, we went to Warlord Games HQ today and saw everything.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't with you. I had stuff to do. So otherwise, I'd have come with you.
And I'm going to start.
Sounds like it would have been fun.
It would have been fun. I'm starting Americans as well, Lord Tattoo.
Okay. I thought you were looking at. I thought you were looking at like. Was it Phil that said he was looking at the British?
I was going to do British, but now I'm doing the US.
Right. Okay.
And I like all the tanks, and because I'm watching Band of Brothers, and you've got like Saving Private Ryan and all that sort of stuff. I think the reason I'm going to do the US stuff is because I can go and watch those. I can go and watch all of that stuff, and kind of base it on that. I can cheat because there's a lot of like different theatres of war that you can look at online and read up the background and the history and things. But I like to watch films, so it's another excuse for me to just sit and watch films and then do some models based on it.
Yeah.
And I want to build sandbags. I'm going to make green stuff sandbags and cover them all over my tanks. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have people carrying all sorts.
I've just got the image now of your tanks. Well, you can't see the tank. You can see the barrel. You can see the barrel of the actual gun, and it's just sandbags.
Which part of the 101st Airborne? I'm not sure. Anything really. I think Phil's just joined us.
I think so.
Phil, are you there?
Evening, both.
Oh,
hello.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. We've got Phil.
Hello, mate. How you doing? What are you guys still doing on the Magnus?
We're just chatting. We've stopped. We've just carried on streaming. It's been an hour and.
We're still on the live stream.
Some of the lives.
Yeah, it's been quite a lot of fun.
I have been. I've been tied up. I had to do a bit of work actually, so apologies for not joining in earlier. I have been having a quick look at the chat at the side of the stream as well. Rachel's been doing a sterling job.
She's not. She's talking about
answering
food.
everyone's.
Kablams has just called her Rachel Chat Assassin Stocks, which has summed her up pretty nails. Oh no, Bazooka J Rambo on bacon. Thinking of bacon. Oh, we've set everybody off on food. Let's go back to wargaming. Bazooka J Rambo. I'm thinking of shortening my Death Quester's tabard. I've already added rips and tears, but it could do with being more worn and frayed. Not a fan of tabards.
Ooh.
I need to.
Yeah, I've noticed, Sam, the wings are still on.
Yeah, SARS.
No, that's okay. It was your thing.
Yeah, but I need to speak to you. You know, you had that soldering iron or something where you can just burn through plastic.
Yes.
What was it? And can you do that to my wings, or can I come around and borrow the tool to do it?
It was. You mean the little blowtorchy type thing?
No, I've got a blowtorch, but I don't want to melt them.
You know that thing that heated up the wire?
The wire?
Yeah, you showed it to me once when you were cutting. You were cutting something, and you were showing me the different things you could do with it.
Yeah, that's some crazy German foam cutting tool, but it does get hot enough to kind of melt plastic. Certainly, works a bit like a soldering iron.
Well, what I want to do is burn holes into these wings. Either that, or I just cut off feathers, and that's not going to look pretty.
Yeah, okay. Burning holes is probably the way to go, but yes, I've got something you can use for that.
All right, there we go. Do you want me to rip these wings off so you can just do Magnus? Is that what you wanted? Is that what you're telling me?
No, Sam. No, I'm saying that'll work.
Yeah,
I've just sent the double at symbol to the chat. Sorry, everyone.
I can sense the disappointment in your voice.
Not at all. Not at all.
I failed you, Phil.
I'm catching up with the chat.
All right, so I'll carry on.
It's all right.
Message deleted by Wargamer Online. Are you deleting Rachel's messages now, Phil?
I don't think so. No.
Well,
Hold on a sec, guys.
Okay, 2 of them have just been deleted. 3 of them have just been deleted. 4 of them. All of Rachel's have been deleted.
No, how many? Have we got any more questions?
Right, we have. Hi, Phil. Hey, Phil. Philip.
Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be back in a second.
No, it's fine. They love you. Magnus. Rachel Stocks was banned by Wargamer Online. How is Rachel banned from Wargamer Online? Is that because she's been talking about food too much?
Oh dear.
Lord Tattoo says 101st is Band of Brothers. Okay, it looks like I'm doing 101st then. Job done.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to copy all of the guys from that and put it into the force then. Everyone wants Phil and he's gone. Magnus is rubbish, Phil. Find someone better. Magnus did a really bad job at warning the Emperor. That's his biggest downfall, really. Spoiler alert, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, don't do it again.
Don't do it again. He did it again.
I swear you're starting to get to this point on every single chat now where you're getting so close to spoilers.
Yeah, you're just going to have to tell me. The problem is there's so much good stuff in Heresy that you want to talk about it, but then you realise that some people haven't got up to date.
Sam, I can't type.
Yeah, it's alright, we're only live, mate. Just come in shouting.
I can't type.
Yeah, I know, you've been banned.
Why have I been banned?
Well, mute it, because otherwise it's going to come up on here twice. I mean, this is brilliant production value. Rachel has decided that getting banned from the chat was not enough. She's now going to walk into the room with a phone blaring, screaming, saying she can't type. That's definitely better, Rachel.
I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm back, by the way. I'm not quite sure what happened to Rachel there. All of her chat has been removed.
Yeah. And then she got banned. Are you catching up as well? I mean, have we got Echo on here as well?
No, I'm trying to work out who banned her.
Well, it was either you or me, and it wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me.
YouTube has just banned somebody from our chat. What is this madness?
Right.
I shall
try and investigate. Please, apologies to everybody who's saying hello, everyone. I'm just trying to find out why Rachel got banned from our own chat stream. But it definitely wasn't me unless it was my iPad.
Yeah, what? Controlled by you.
Just doing things on its own.
Well, my other
It's
hand might
happened
have been banning people. I'm sorry. I like how she's been chatting
okay.
away. You come back and she's banned, but apparently it's not you.
But it's removed all of her comments right to the start of the history of the chat. Does anybody...
It's probably because you banned her, so it just deletes everything. That's what happens when you ban somebody. It deletes all of their messages. Right, so we have Lord Tattoo. Sam, if you need any help working out a list, give me a shout. I will definitely need help. I will ask for help, though, when it starts, when I start doing it. Without a clue, Wargaming James. Yes, the audiobooks are great. Al Woods, Modelling Mayhem. Rachel, you are a genius.
I've got a solution.
What's your solution?
I can just sit in here with you.
Oh, no, she's going to sit in there.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. You're going to have to mute it then.
I'm muting now.
Can people actually hear? If you can hear Rachel, say hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Rachel.
Oh, everyone can hear. Can the guys on YouTube land hear? Maybe we just do this from now on, Rachel. You just sit in the floor.
Oh, I can't find out what happened to Rachel.
It's just beautiful. Right, let's try and do... Hi, Rachel. Everyone likes Rachel and Phil. I'm just going to let those two...
Amazing.
You two can come on the chat next Friday.
Yeah, should we just swap out? Leave it to
We'll
these two?
tag out. We're going to tag out, and it's going to be Phil and Rachel next Friday. And then me and Michael just actually go and do hobby and just chat. How about that? Does that sound good to you, Rach?
Sounds amazing.
Since you're now going to be a new hobby guru and you're actually going to build and paint a model rather than just play games. Mahanika, hi. Lord Tattoo, it does that if she banned and YouTube bans. If not talking about the subject of the channel.
I was talking about food.
You were talking about bacon and brown sauce and stuff.
Everything except Wargaming.
So you got banned by YouTube.
I kind of secretly hope Rachel actually did get banned by YouTube.
It's horrible.
partly because she was talking about bacon. And we are definitely
We're talking
not
about wargaming, not bacon.
We're not the age of bacon. We're the age of Sigmar, and we're Warhammer 40 bacon.
I realised that I can't actually reply.
You can't, no. James put, I love you, Sam. Here we go. Some love for me. Normally it's just bullying constantly. At least James loves me.
Okay, my comment to Al Woods, because apparently...
Your comment to Al Wood. Come on then, let me...
Because I can't type it on YouTube, was you need to try brown sauce.
Oh,
bacon,
Rachel.
bacon.
Oh, my God. Right, you can go out. You're not coming on next Friday. If this is...
You're banned from the live stream now as well.
You're banned from the live stream. You're banned from this room. Phil, have you done any hobby tonight?
No. I ended up getting tied up with a little bit of work, I'm afraid, and not the hobby channel work either. The work. So
Oh.
I'm afraid I got distracted for a couple of hours, but I'm back. I've opened my Gaunt Summoner of Siege, and I'm having a look at the sprue, and I'm thinking how I can do what I want to do without doing wings now, because I'm just never going to hear the end of using wings.
No, you can do it. You can definitely do wings, and they'll probably be better than my wings.
Just realised.
No, I can see wing hammer issues arising.
Wing hammer. You know what? I'll just rip these wings off. Shall I do it now, live on the chat?
No.
Get ready. This is
No,
like Dogma all over
Come
again.
on, Sam.
Rachel loves wings, so she's like, "Don't do it. Don't destroy the wings." Well, Phil will never let it rest. The problem is, right? Look at this model without that sort of height on it.
It's a proper little angel of death.
Proper little angel of death. I love it.
It's so cute.
That's wonderful. This chat has just gone. No one's
Tell
asking
me about what you've been doing.
Oh.
What's all that white stuff all over the model, dude? Is that super fine milliput, or have you been using toothpaste again?
Super fine. Oh,
The last time you used toothpaste, it was a disaster. Remember, it smelled beautiful, but it was a disaster.
you know what? I watched a video the other day where they were using toothpaste to mask off stuff, so for weathering on tanks, because you can just scrape it away with water afterwards. That's a technique I need to try. So yeah, you might joke and laugh about it, but it works. Rachel, what are you doing? Because you're properly distracted.
I was seeing if you've got another headphone jack.
No.
Well, because mine's on a delay.
Yes, it will be.
You don't sound delayed.
No, we don't sound
You're
delayed
prob-
because of the way that I've sorted it. Right. Right. Rachel, just leave the chat. Go and watch it. And we'll sort it out next time. And we'll unban you if you stop talking about brown sauce.
Modelling mayhem, toothpaste, giving that extra white.
Lord Tattoo says just don't do fairy wings. Is that a dig at these, Lord Tattoo? Because
no.
I like my fairy
They are
wings.
little tiny. They are the flappiest tiny wings I've ever seen. So.
When they're like dark and like grungy and it looks like a evil angel, it'll be fine.
I've got Pink's Leviathan Dreadnought here. I'm thinking of hacking a couple of bits off of that.
You're not going to do your own hobby, but you'll like chop up Pink's.
No, I
Leviathan.
meant for my conversion.
Oh, right. Okay. You're just going to steal his model. Even better.
That was the plan.
Right. Before we get some evidence of Phil ruining Pink stuff, you can put that back on properly, Rach. Before we have any more issues, I think we're going to call it for tonight. So
It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been a longer session. If you enjoyed the longer 2-hour session, we might even do more regular 2-hour sessions on here on a Friday.
It's been professional, I'll give you that.
It's been very professional. Thank you, Rachel, for helping with that. That
No,
professionalism.
it's been good speaking to everyone in the
Wait,
from the comments.
well, I'm just starting up. Leave it going. I'll take over.
It's been like Mike said, it's been great. There's been a load of new people in the chat, so that's really good. And if you are watching this back, join in on one of these live ones. The more the merrier. The more people are chatting, the better it is. So don't feel like you have to just sit there and watch. You can join in. That's the whole point of these things. I want 4-hour session, so-called painter sodes. Yeah, I mean,
Kablams, you're right. I do have some of those Dark Eldar flying feather wings as well, so I've got some of those. Thanks for the heads up on that.
yeah.
Yes, let's do 4 hours next time, and I'll show up for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's cool. Owls put, what music do you guys listen to when you hobby? We'll put that in. Write that down now, Phil, for me, please. We'll remember it. Make a mental note. I'll add it to the questions.
Okay. No, I'm going to do it as a swift tattoo on my arm. Let me write it down. I've got a special pad for writing things on.
That's brutal.
So what was it again? Sorry.
What music do you guys listen to when you hobby?
What music? Right, we've got that. I've got a whole playlist. We'll cover that.
Oh, God. Right, that's 4 hours next week. What music does Phil listen to? Might be quicker to list the ones he doesn't listen to. Right. Thank you, everybody who's joined the chat. It's been a load of fun.
Yes, thanks everyone.
I didn't get much done on this guy, but there will be more done in the next few hours. I'm going to post up some pictures on the Facebook page, and I might even do some little photos on Instagram, maybe, because Instagram's a thing now. I want to see.
Now.
I haven't done it. I've just been doing YouTube. I mean, it's a lot to get through YouTube and Facebook anyway, isn't it? Chucking Instagram in there as well. It's just another part of it. But thank you again for everybody who's joined. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe so you can get more stuff. It has been emotional, Kablams, but it's been very, very good. And we will see you all live next Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time. If we don't see you before. Without a Clue Wargaming, James is going to be with us, explaining to us how he does all of those funky, quick techniques on painting an army to an exceptional... I can't even speak. An amazing standard.
Exceptional. Exceptional.
I can't speak.
Hey, I'm struggling now as well.
Exceptional standard. There we go. Look at me. Words. And we'll find out who else is on there. I think it's going to be Phil, Mike, myself, and James. So it will be a good one on the Wednesday. Have a great weekend, and we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.